Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello and welcome. Today I wanted to share a video all about how to simplify homeschooling and how to reduce overwhelm as well, because if you are a new homeschooler, I think the biggest struggle for most of us is the overwhelm and trying to figure everything out on our own when we are just starting out. We don't have any experience, we don't really know what works for our family as of yet, and so I wanted to share a few things that are hopefully going to help you guys reduce those overwhelming feelings. Yeah, just help produce more peace and joy in your homeschool days. So I do have a few notes on my phone, and very quickly before we get into it, if you guys have not yet downloaded my free curriculum comparison guide, I will leave the link for that down in the description box and you guys can get that absolutely free. It's a whole list of curriculums and who they are best for. You can just click on each curriculum and it will take you straight there, and it basically compares a whole bunch of popular curriculums so you can find the perfect one for you. The overarching theme for tip number one to keep your homeschooling simple is to focus on the core subjects that really matter to you and that are the foundation of all learning. So I'm sure we have all heard of the 3 R's, so reading, writing, and arithmetic. When things feel really overwhelming in your homeschool days, you're probably trying to do too much. And so whenever I feel like I'm starting to get overwhelmed or things are getting too difficult, maybe I have too many things that are falling behind, such as housework. Yeah, I'm just not spending enough one-on-one time with my children, forming a relationship with them. Those are the moments where I have to come back to my core subjects and really just do those 3 things each day, and allow the rest of the time in my day to go towards other priorities, even if it's just for a season. So in our home, the main priority is always going to be our morning time, which is where we read our Bible, say our prayer, and do our scripture memory. There are days where I don't even do language arts, but I will always do our morning time because that is the foundation of our home as a Christian family. For you, maybe math and science are really important to you, and so those might be your 2 core subjects alongside reading a lot of living books. So the great news is a lot of states are quite flexible, so of course stick to your state guidelines when it comes to simplifying your homeschool. I also heard on a podcast, I can't remember who said it, however, she was a veteran homeschooler who has seen a bunch of her children already graduate, and one of her biggest tips was to invest in a quality math curriculum instead of trying to buy everything and nail every single subject with a high-end curriculum. Especially when it comes to a budget, with most of us homeschoolers are on, you really want to put your money towards things that are going to make a difference. Make do with what you have in regards to the other subjects that are really easy to naturally learn and pick up. Things like language arts and grammar, we can learn that simply by reading really good living books. Under this umbrella of focusing on the core subjects and on quality material comes our reading. I for myself know that I spent a bunch of money buying just every book I could, every picture book that was recommended, because I thought that my kids needed to have it all. And I do really value books, and I wanted to create a library for my children. However, as the years have gone on, I've noticed I'm not made of money, and a lot of the books that I bought are just rubbish anyway. And so instead, now what I do is I am patient and I really take the time to research and read reviews on quality books that I know are going to last my children from level K, where they start, all the way up to grade 12. I now choose to invest money in buying good quality books and stories and literature that will last through the ages, opposed to just buying everything I can. And the same thing goes with everything else in our homeschool. I am now investing in quality art materials instead of whatever's cheapest, because they usually end up just being annoying to work with anyway. Like, there are a lot of super cheap, stupid pencils that you can't even see the color when you use them. So just things like that. Discovering what matters to you and then investing in certain things in your homeschooling instead of trying to spread your money and budget across the entire thing. And then the last thing I want to say on focusing on core subjects is that you do not need to purchase a curriculum for every single subject. For me, I use the Good and the Beautiful, language arts and math. They are both free and they are both working awesome for my children so far. I have recently purchased a history curriculum, again from the Good and the Beautiful, and I have purchased and invested a lot of living books that cover other subjects. Other than that, I do not spend money, nor do I spend my time paying for curriculums to cover other subjects yet, unless I find a specific thing that I really want to learn about and focus with the kids. Now, the next major tip I have for you guys, the theme is to embrace flexibility and a relaxed approach to homeschooling. First up, don't be afraid to deviate from the plan. I love my planner. I love keeping everything organized. I love visually being able to see everything and tick everything off that we do in the day. However, you really need to be okay with deviating from that day's plan. There are going to be so many moments in your day where the day is just not going to go the way that you planned on it going, and if you start putting up a fuss and if you allow yourself to stress over these minute details in your day, your homeschool is just not going to be a fun place. Your kids are going to pick up on your energy. You are going to be stressed and anxious and annoyed, and it's just not a great place to be. One of the biggest blessings with being able to homeschool is to be with your children, and there's no point being with your children if you are just always not in a good mood. And I know for me, when I'm not able to get everything done on my to-do list, I do get annoyed, but it's just not worth it, guys. So if you are finding yourself being anxious and just trying to tick everything off and it's just not happening each day, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Try to simplify and cut things out and be okay with the plans changing. If someone pops over or if the kids just aren't happy that day and you really think that you should just leave school for the day and head outside and take them out on a nature walk, it's okay. That is still homeschooling, and you need to be okay putting aside the bookwork sometimes and just enjoying your children, and again, really taking opportunities and advantage of natural learning, because when you live life with your kids, not just in a normal day, that is still homeschooling when your children are young. When it comes to having a relaxed approach within your home, things like just taking your schoolwork outside on a picnic rug, or even just going to the playground and doing your nature studies there, or doing your morning time outside. You could sit on the couch and cuddle up, do your literature reading, or even your math. Like, I often do our math just sitting on the couch or lying in bed sometimes, especially when our other kids are getting too noisy and my kids can't focus. Okay, how can I make this experience of homeschooling more comfortable for everyone? How can we increase focus yet still be relaxed and enjoy this time together? When we have those thoughts in the back of our mind, it allows us to make choices that might go against what we naturally think we should do. It's okay to just chill out and do things that aren't normal. Another way to keep things really relaxed and joyful in your home is to get rid of the standardized testing. I know that it's really good to gauge where your children are at. However, if the tests are stressing you out and you're finding that maybe your kids aren't up to par on certain subjects, and so now you're like, I need to add on all this extra work to help support their learning and growth even more. If those things are causing more stress and a greater workload that you or your child are capable of doing with joy, then you really need to sit back and reconsider, is this worth it? Is trying to get my child up to a greater level worth the extra overwhelm and stress that we may be experiencing? The last tip I have regarding flexibility and being relaxed in homeschooling is to take breaks whenever you need. Doesn't matter if you're only 5 minutes into your subject, if things are just not working, if there is a lot of resistance or arguments or attitude going on, take a break. It's okay. You can come back to it later. You can come back to it tomorrow. Learning does not happen when our mind and our attitude is not fully in it. You can force your child to sit there at the table. However, chances are you're wasting both of your time, because I know for me at least, if I'm in a bad attitude, I am not there to learn. My mind is not there. I am not present. It's simply a waste of time. So I have learned that taking a break is always more beneficial and more productive than trying to push through the lesson with all the kids screaming and fighting, and it's just chaos in my home. Another way to simplify your homeschool is to minimize distractions and maximize learning time. So this is what I mean. If you are juggling multiple children, especially when you have babies and toddlers, I know that homeschooling can take so long. A 10-minute lesson can turn into a 30-minute lesson because of all the distractions and interruptions going on. Really try your best to create rhythms and routines and to create moments of silence and focus for the whole family so that the lessons are able to be finished quickly and efficiently. For me, I would rather spend an extra 10 minutes setting up my children so they are happy and busy so that I can head off into the bedroom with my son and try to smash out our math lesson. It's very hard for him to think and focus, and then when he is not focusing and not understanding things, I get frustrated. And in those moments, I have not done my job properly as a mother and a teacher of trying to minimize distractions in the home. A lot of overwhelm that comes with homeschooling can come from having a lot to do and it's just not getting done each day. And sometimes the reason why the lessons are taking so long is simply because our learning environment is not ideal. A very quick thing to remember is that there are studies, and it's just known right now, that when you have a lot of screen time within your home, you are going to cause a lot of messy minds and chaos when the screens are off. I know that when my kids spend a lot of time behind screens, the times where the screens are gone, they really struggle entertaining themselves and being content with, you know, just not having screens that day. A lot of the days then spent by the kids whining and whinging to me because they want to watch TV or they want to watch YouTube and stuff like that. If we try to limit screen time, the more we are helping ourselves, because the children will learn that I can't even get screens right now. Why would I bother asking my mum? And so it just helps them be more creative and entertain themselves as well. Also, basic things like making sure that you're staying on top of meals and cooking nutritious foods for your families. I know that my brain isn't fully functioning if I am not properly hydrated or if I haven't eaten a good breakfast. So just simple homekeeping things like making sure that the kids are well fed, that they're not hungry, that they're not thirsty, that they've slept well. These basic things really do affect how our homeschool day flows. If you are feeling overwhelmed in homeschool because your house is a mess, you have a bunch of laundry over there, you don't know what you're going to make for dinner, honestly, just focus on reading a bunch of good books and maybe doing a math lesson with your child or with your kids, and then spend the rest of the day or the rest of the week getting on top of the home and creating systems so that everything flows together well. Our home life and homeschool are honestly just two of the same thing. Like, they're very interconnected, and so when one is out of place, so is the other. And so it's really important to get on top of things when one of them is falling apart. Okay, the next thing to simplify your homeschool in regards to our social opportunities is to take advantage of forming relationships with people and parents and homeschoolers that you truly want your children to be around. So for me, instead of trying to go to all the things and do all the art lessons and music lessons and join all the sports teams, I have found that by simply choosing one sport, that's it, everything else is natural. So I have two Christian families, two really good friends that I adore and that my children get along with their children really well. And that is our social time. I am not out there trying to make friends with every new homeschool family because it's too much, and I would rather have close relationships, meaningful relationships, with a select few people who I truly know and trust, so that I enjoy hanging out with them, my kids can enjoy hanging out with them. And it just makes the whole socializing aspect of homeschooling easier. You do not need to be around 100 new people every single week for your children to be socialized. That is not true. As long as they are building those friendships and getting out of their comfort zones often, but it doesn't necessarily need to be with new people all the time. So maybe just calm down on trying to make friends and pick one or two people who you really enjoy being around and focus on forming meaningful homeschool relationships with them instead. Another tip on socialization is more for you. If you are feeling really overwhelmed, I highly encourage you to reach out to other homeschool mums who are maybe older than you, maybe they have kids who have graduated, and form friendships with them. It doesn't need to be like a one-on-one friendship. It can just be a relationship where they are kind of mentoring you. I'm sure that the older women are more than happy to give you advice and take you under their wing if it means that they are encouraging you and helping you to reduce that overwhelm in your homeschool. I do find that the older the homeschooling mom, the more relaxed and just carefree she is, and it's always because, you know, she knows that it's going to be okay. We fuss about so many little things that don't even matter in the long term, but I think that when we're young, we're very passionate, and obviously we want to set our kids up for success. Find someone who you respect in the homeschooling community who has already gone through what you are currently going through, and get advice and ask them a lot of questions, and hopefully that will help calm you down. And my last tip for simplifying your homeschool and creating more joy and reducing overwhelm in your home is to be okay with moving away from your homeschool style. Now, when I first began homeschooling, I was all about Charlotte Mason. I loved that. When my kids were preschool age, I was so into Montessori learning and Steiner learning. However, when my son hit grade 1, I found that Charlotte Mason, the way that she encourages children to learn to read, oh my goodness, I thought it was so much prep work. My son found it boring. Everyone was bored. It was just boring. There are still so many Charlotte Mason principles that we live by. I love living books. I'm all about training character while the children are young and having that as the focus before academics. There are a lot of things that I still love and adore by Charlotte Mason. I stuck to her philosophy in teaching and learning longer than I should have. It just was not.
Mom, we saw a dead turtle on the road.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, and it crunched.
Yeah.
And there's bees on it.
Oh no.
And there's seed in it.
Oh, okay. Can mommy finish up the video, guys?
Alright.
Okay, thank you. My kids are home. Lucky I'm nearly done. I should have just been okay with switching things up and finding what truly worked for me instead of just trying to stick to the plan. I truly believe that every homeschooler is not 100% one homeschool style. In the end, I think if we all learn to be okay with labeling ourselves as eclectic, our homeschool is going to work much better for our family. If you found this video helpful, please leave me a comment down in the comment section below. It really helps my channel out. Don't forget to subscribe, check out more videos here, and I will see you guys next time.